Hello, everyone. Welcome to my life. This is Emerald Foods, and today let us talk about why you cannot follow cookbooks blindly. Why you cannot follow online recipes blindly. All right. If you are someone who makes use of cookbook a lot, you buy a lot of cookbooks, and you want to follow it strictly, you will be having problem with your meals. You will be cooking meals that you don't like, and there are reasons why you cannot follow cookbook blindly. All right, I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be following cookbook blindly. You can use cookbook as a guide, but you shouldn't be following them blindly. All right, you can get tips, you can get guidance from cookbooks, but when you feel like you have to do completely 100% exactly what the cookbook tells you, you will always make food that you don't really like. All right, now one of the key reasons why you should not follow cookbook blindly is because ingredients differ. Ingredients differ from place to place. For example, when you buy your own wheat flour in America, the moisture content of your wheat flour in America may be different from the moisture content of the wheat flour in Denmark. All right. And when the moisture content differ, when the components of the ingredients differ, they create varying taste, varying behavior when you are using that ingredient to cook. So if someone created that cookbook using the ingredients they purchased in Denmark, and you are in America, you are trying to create the same recipe and you are following it verbatim without, using the indicators of taste of your site, how it's looking, how it's tasting. If you are not using also to judge, you will make a wrong food. All right, even though you are following the cookbook correctly. All right, so you cannot continue to follow cookbooks blindly, like 100%. Ingredients differ from place to place. I've given you example of moisture content. Another example is vegetables. Vegetables are cut in different sizes, in different shapes, in different manner. If you follow a cookbook, hello, Prime Player, tell me where you're watching me from. Today we are talking about why you cannot follow cookbook blindly. I am from India. Hey, hello. How do you say hello in India? How do you greet someone in India? Please let me know in the comment section. Today we are talking about why you cannot follow cookbooks blindly. Please, if you are joining, like this video, let me know where you're watching me from. Drop a comment, subscribe to this channel. You cannot follow cookbooks 100%. Namaste. Hey, namaste. Hello. Namaste. How do you say thank you also? So I can thank you for teaching me how to greet in your language, okay? So if you are following a cookbook, you have to follow cookbooks with caution, because cookbooks can only provide you guidance. You can make errors using cookbook because ingredients differ from country to country. I am from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria, but I'm living in the Netherlands. Yes. I'm speaking to you from the Netherlands, but I'm in Nigerian. So welcome everyone. Hello. Please do what to like this video. If you are always using cookbook, recipe book, you are always copying recipes online, you have to follow recipes and cookbook with caution. You cannot follow the recipes in cookbooks like blindly, because number one, ingredients differ from country to country. Also the equipment that you are using, the eating sauce you are using differ from home to home. For example, the cookbook may say cook this vegetable on medium heat. What does medium heat mean? The person that made the cookbook, their eating elements may have clear, medium, high, low options, but your own eating equipment that you are using in your house, how do you determine medium eat? You get it? So when you are following cookbooks, when you are following recipe books, make sure you follow it with caution. Number three reasons why you cannot follow cookbook blindly is because taste is personal. Taste is something you determine personally. For example, if the cookbook says you should use certain spices, do you know that the intensity of spices in your own country is different from maybe the country that the cookbook was made from? The intensity of your cinnamon, of your turmeric, of your own rosemary in your own country may be even stronger than the intensity of the spices that the person who made the cookbook used. So if the person say use 3 grams of spices, 3 grams of spices used by the cook may give different intensity in the meal from the 3 grams of the same spices that you use in your own country, because the intensity of spices differ. Like I said, ingredients differ from country to country. Moisture content of ingredients differ. So you cannot continue to follow cookbook blindly without, without using your sense of judgment, of taste, of your own personal preferences, putting it into play in this matter. All right. So when you are using cookbook, make sure that you are still, allowing your personal preferences to come into play. Don't always seek to follow cookbooks 100%. Like me, even when I check recipes online, I still put my own personal preferences into play. I use the cookbook, I use the recipe book as a guide, but I still factor in my own personal preferences, my own, level, spice level, the way I can take up spices, the way I can take up salt. You cannot tell me that in a recipe to make cake, I should use 200 grams of sugar, and my own personal preference, I don't like too sugary foods. So when you are following cookbook, you need to follow cookbooks with caution. When you are following recipes online, follow it with caution. You can still adjust based on your personal preference. All right, that is the way you can enjoy the food that you make. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, let me know where you're watching me from. Please do well to like this video, subscribe to this channel, please, and also drop a comment. Where are you watching me from? Today we are talking about the reason why you cannot follow cookbooks 100%. You can't follow cookbooks blindly. You need to follow cookbooks with caution, with precaution, so that you will not always make food that you cannot eat. You will not always make food that you don't enjoy to eat. All right. Every food that you make, you want to enjoy it because it's something that you like. It's something that, satisfies you. But when you follow cookbooks blindly, you may end up making food that you do not enjoy. Why? Because personal preferences always come to play. All right. Personal preferences always come to play. Even if you want to use cookbooks, you have to ask yourself, the cultural background of this person and mine, are they similar? For example, the way we eat, our spice level, what we enjoy to eat, the foundational, like the major ingredients of this meal, does it really match what I am used to or what I enjoy? All right. So, for example, when I want to try new recipes, when I want to try new food, I look at the ingredients and I ask myself, these ingredients that I want to use for this new food, Are they something that I can tolerate? All right. You ask yourself personal questions. Even when you want to try new meals, you want to try cooking new meals, you look at the ingredients and you ask yourself, are they things that are, familiar? If there are things that are familiar, you can be sure that when you make that food, you will, enjoy it. If there are ingredients that are not familiar, you ask yourself, am I open to new ingredients? Am I allergic to this new ingredient? For example, if you see an ingredient that you might likely be allergic to, then it is very important that you ask yourself, can I find a replacement for this particular ingredient? You don't just follow that recipe book blindly. You don't just follow that cookbook blindly. You ask yourself, if I'm allergic to this ingredient, is there is there a suitable replacement for that particular ingredient that I can tolerate? If there is a suitable replacement, then you go ahead and replace it. If there is no suitable replacement, you ask yourself, is there something I can substitute? Can I actually remove it completely? All right. Can I remove it completely? If you don't have something to substitute, you have asked yourself, can I substitute this ingredient? You don't have anything to substitute. Can I remove this ingredient and still be able to make this meal and enjoy it? You don't just copy recipe book anyhow. You don't just, a lot of people say, oh, I don't follow online cooking recipe again. I don't follow online cooks again because when I make it, it's always come out in such a way that I cannot eat it. It's because you are following it blindly. You have to start following recipes online or in cookbooks with putting your own personal preferences into, consideration. Because the person that made the cookbook definitely put their own personal preference into play in that cookbook. Yeah, the person may be saying, I made this book for the whole world, for everybody. But the truth is that the personal preference of people always come into their meals. You can't shy away from that. So when somebody is making a cookbook or a recipe for you, their personal preference comes into play. So you that you are copying that recipe, you have to put your own personal preference also into play. You can do substitution of ingredients. You can do completely replacing an ingredient. You can do complete elimination of ingredients. Or you can even try to recreate something with that idea. All right. So let us know that cookbooks are not, something that can always be plug and play because of, ingredients differing, equipment and intensity of equipment differing, the eating methods differing, and also personal preferences differing, and a whole lot of other factors are affecting these things. So next time you want to use a recipe book online or in a cookbook, make sure that you know what you are doing and put personal preferences into play. Thank you very much. Please do us like this video, comment, and follow this page, subscribe to this page, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.